How's it going, everyone? It is Dark Ops here, bringing you some Black Ops 6 beta gameplay from my stream last night. We started out the stream, the beta just came out yesterday, and these are going to be my initial thoughts, the good, the bad, and some of the funniest bugs I've encountered in any beta. We're going to be covering it all, but I want to start off with the positives and the good of the beta, because I don't want it to seem like I'm being outwardly negative towards the multiplayer here, but this just applies to the beta on weekend 1, so not the second weekend that's going to be coming out next weekend, and not the actual full release, but these are the thoughts of the beta itself. So first, to start off with some good, because I did have fun playing the beta, the guns feel really good, and more specifically the guns and the gunplay just feel great. It's a huge step up from Black Ops Cold War. The inspections and attention to detail all look really good, and just using them and playing in the actual matches feels really good as well. Now, that said, I'm not talking about the stability, but I am just talking about general gunplay and design, because they all look and feel much better than Cold War or even Vanguard. So I would say it's up to standard now, so it's up to par, at least in the beta, with Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 in terms of actual gun quality and gunplay. So that was really good to see. And another positive that I have to note with the guns is that when you dolphin dive and when you use the new Omni movement, the guns shoot and feel as they should. You know, when you're using Omni movement, it feels like you can use your gun at the same time. So it does feel good in that respect, and I think they did accomplish what they wanted to with Omni movement, where you can shoot while diving, and also shoot when moving backwards, going forwards. Just all your general movement has been improved across the board. And that's something that I should also note as well, is that this game feels the fastest Black Ops game, maybe besides BO3, but in terms of actual movement, in terms of gameplay, this is the fastest Black Ops game. So whether that's a positive to you is completely up to you, but to me, I thought it felt really good at times, where you could use the new faster sliding and the new Omni movement to move around and, you know, take out opponents from the other side. So it can definitely feel really good with the new movement. Another positive I have to commend them for is the fact that they were able to make Omni movement so useful, so bi-directional. You can use it in many different ways. You can use it to go left, you can use it to go right, you can use it to go backwards and save yourself from an explosion like I do when I save myself from a grenade. You can dolphin dive backwards. I just appreciate how practical it's become, and it's even more practical than normal movement in some cases where you can't, you know, move out the way, so you have to use Omni movement to get out of the way. Or even better than exo movement, where you could just jump in the air, but this, you can jump backwards, you can go to the side, left and right. It feels really good. Now, in my case, it was broken. It was pretty fast and just loose. It wasn't really stable, but I feel like in the main game, it will be a lot more stable, and we can actually see Omni movement at its full potential. But as is now, it is a pretty loose mechanic that has a ton of potential, and definitely saved my game a couple times when I was able to jump from left to right and dolphin dive whichever direction I wanted to, because Omni movement is just more opening, more freeing, and generally just a more open experience with Omni movement that I can appreciate being in the game, and, you know, appreciate it being here and not being gone. So I appreciate it being in the actual game. And the final thing I have to know about the beta that I thought was really good was the HUD and actual user interface design. Now, for me, I chose the classic HUD. There are many selections you can choose from, but for me, I chose to go with the HUD from Black Ops 4. It's more of a classic look, where you have your specialist towards the middle of your slot, and you have your ammo towards the right, as most CODs do, but this one you move the specialist towards the middle. I really like that you can choose your own HUD. I think it definitely stands out in being able to make that choice, because not everyone's going to have the same HUD. So I can appreciate the increased HUDs that you can choose from, and I can appreciate the fact that you have choices now, as well as the general HUD. It reminds me a lot of Black Ops 2 in a way, with the orange and black detail, along with the Black Ops 1 font. It definitely looks reminiscent of the older Black Ops games, so that's a huge improvement in my opinion. It gives it more personality and makes it seem more like its own game than just another Modern Warfare game. Especially since it's going to be in Call of Duty HQ, it needs these sort of things to keep itself independent. So I can appreciate and absolutely adore the fact that it looks really good in terms of HUD, in terms of user interface, and of course in terms of the fact that when you go to the main menu, it shows Black Ops 6 on its own, so you can choose zombies, multiplayer, or single player. Of course, zombies is unfortunately not in beta right now. It's only multiplayer, so multiplayer is the only choice you can make there. But in general, I appreciate the new HUD, the new designs overall, and it looks really like its own Call of Duty game. So that is the biggest thing, I think, going for this new Call of Duty multiplayer is that it has its own identity. That's something that Black Ops has been lacking for a while, and now it has its own identity back. At least as far as we know, the new HUD for COD HQ is coming out in October, so when that comes out, I'll make another review on that. But otherwise, it looks really, really good across the board. Now we're done with the good. I have to unfortunately talk about the bad and the actual game-breaking bugs and issues that I encountered with on stream with this beta. I know it's the opening weekend, but the beta's been out for many people just hacking the game all throughout this month. So when I entered in the game, there was packet bursts everywhere. You can see just across the game, there's packet bursts constantly. I don't know if it was just me. I saw some people on Twitter talking about it. There was a lot of packet bursts. And on top of that, it was just generally not stable in the slightest. Sometimes you could get below 60 FPS, even though I was running the 120 FPS mode. Sometimes it would just load you out the map. If you tried using Omni Movement, it would slide you across the map. I had some clips on stream there where I literally went across the entire map, just dolphin diving to the side when I meant to go forward. Omni Movement at times just didn't feel like it was working correctly. Now I know, again, it's just the first beta, it's the first day, I understand that, it's the first weekend, but some of these things feel like Omni Movement was tacked on last minute, because you can see Omni Movement works sometimes, and it does save you in a lot of cases, but at others it feels like it just flat out doesn't work. Like if I'm just standing still, even though I meant to dive to the right or I meant to dive to the left, it just keeps you still. Now, someone did suggest turning off sliding so that you could actually use Omni Movement, and when I did that, it felt a lot more stable, but I shouldn't have to do that if the movement is going to combine with sliding. So hopefully that's get ironed out soon, but that is the biggest issue I encountered with, was a lot of the Omni Movement being glitched or just flat out not working. And also, again, just the stability and the packet burst. The packet burst was really, really bad on my end. It was lagging pretty much constantly the entire time. So you could often see it was just glitching. It was just turning into like a slow mess, often dipping below 60 FPS, sometimes hitting 30 according to my monitor. So often it was just not stable at all. And I know it's a beta, but the game comes out in about not even 2 months, in like a month now. So I hope that they can get these issues fixed for the actual day one and the first weekend, because when Modern Warfare 3 launched, I actually didn't encounter nearly as much issues. When I played the beta of Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, there wasn't nearly as many issues that there is here. And yeah, maybe there is no new movement in those games, but come on, you gotta fix your shit, okay? This beta was very, very buggy for me. And as well, sometimes when leveling up, the screen would just flat out go black. Sometimes it would crash. I would get out of the menu and it would just flat out not load up on COD HQ, so I'd have to reload the game. When I was playing on my own time anyway, it would just go out of COD HQ. The progression system is leveling up, so you still are earning, level ups, but oftentimes it would just crash if I hit a certain level, like level 12, level 10, the screen would go completely black. So there were a lot of times where it felt like it was just not ready for beta testing, even though the beta's been pretty much open for the last month now, if you know how to hack into it. But those are some of the glitches I encountered as well, and just general lag and performance issues that I encountered with. And I am playing on a PS5, so there shouldn't be as many, issues. I'm playing on next gen here, so the fact that I'm encountering so many issues maybe is a sign for the future. I'm not entirely sure, but these are just the issues I encountered with on my playthrough. So if you had a stable beta, then all the power to you. But to me, I had a very buggy and laggy experience, and I seriously hope that the next beta or throughout the weekend gets better, because they have said, Treyarch has stated that they're going to be working on patches to make the stability better, and I could appreciate it, and I hope that they do, because I do want to play more of the beta for you guys on stream, or just to get more gameplay. So once that gets ironed out, I will be playing more of it, but for now I just can't load into it without there being a huge amount of packet burst or just flat out crashing the game. And the crashing isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but occasionally it will, and it's always after a game once I level up. So once you level up, it'll just go completely black, and then I'm back at the COD HQ menu. So oftentimes you'll have that moment where you're trying to level up, and then it will just flat out crash. So a lot of performance issues across the board, despite the fact that the actual movement system does work occasionally, and like I said, improvements across the board in terms of movement and gunplay. But other than that, it will just crash, it will be laggy. There will be performance issues, so just a ton of issues in general when you're playing the beta itself. But that's just from my experience, so maybe you had a better experience than I did. But those are just my experiences with the beta on day one, so maybe there will be ironed out in the future. But let me know what you guys think of this beta. I didn't want to be so negative, so I kind of tried to split it half and half of the positives, the negatives, and the bugs. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. I could always use a new addition to the Dark Ops army. And share this video as well. I'd like to see more people on the channel, see if you guys had the same experience as I did. See people more on stream. I'm going to be streaming more often, the Black Ops beta. So if you'd like to see that, just have notifications on. But thank you guys so much for watching. This Dark Ops signing off.